So when installing your cab lights, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pull back your weather stripping. It's just this little stripping here. This is a little bit soft and it can tear easily. So reach over the top of that and pull it down like that, and that exposes your headliner. Next thing you'll want to do is go through and remove all the screws that hold your visor, because it's blocking the headliner from coming down, as well as the little receiving clip that you have there. So there's just one screw. Then of course the head unit or the control unit if your vehicle's so equipped. And then also these little bars on the side here. To be politically correct, they're holy crap bars. And then you got a couple of plates here that are just kind of beauty plates that hold the headliner up. Now these steps are the same whether you're going to put an install on a vehicle that already has overhead lights, but they definitely have to come off if you're going to be starting from scratch if you don't have any lights to begin with. So I don't have any B-pillars to worry about, just little plastic things on each side. It's a T20 that took all of that off, and the, what else was T20? The holy crap bar on this side. And something else was too, but I don't remember what. This didn't take any screws. These were all Phillips, 3 here, 1 here, 1 and 3. These ones, you have these little clips. They're inside the garage door opener pocket, and you just push those forward and then push the whole thing back and the whole thing comes off. So it's just hooked into these little guys. As far as my roof's not shaped like that, obviously. So when you look up in here, it's smooth on the top. It's not going to be here in a minute. But basically you've got these little holes for where they go. So you've got this one here. So if you could drill these from the inside, that would give a perfect template to be able to do that. And then you've got one here, one in the middle, and another down there. So you can see the far side one there, and the center one is lined up right with the mirror, the rear view mirror. So that's where they go, or at least that's where the wire harness comes down through. I lined up, so if you line that up here, that puts it about right there, which is about the right location. So the downside of pulling all this apart is the plastic's really crappy. I had these little alignment hole things snap off, even though I knew they were there, even though I knew to pull straight back, even though I was very careful. They still broke. And these little tabs, these plastic things, just will not come out for anything. I got this hanger thing pulled out. I got to pull that one still. So anyway, I'm just working at this, trying to figure out how to do it. I know on the newer model years, or maybe on some of the fancier trucks, there's a plug for your wires, either on this side, or not plug for your wires, a plug for your lights. But I don't have that. So I'm going to have to run it down to the light switch and then go from here, you know, where the lights are, and put a fuse in it and run it up to the top. Given these are LED, there shouldn't be a whole lot of draw. We'll measure it, check it out, see what we need to do. May need to do a relay. You've heard the term, use the right tool for the job. Well, this is it. This thing's awesome. It's got this little pin puller. Let's push it up in there, get behind these clips, and just rock it back and forth. And of course, now that I'm on camera, it's not as smooth as the last one, but it gets it done. You'll notice that I've got the seats holding the rest of the headliner up. So unfortunately, and fortunately for me, I have a tonneau cover on the back, so I can just turn this thing upside down and set it on the back. Awesome. I'm excited about this now. Alright, so we've got the headliner on the bedliner, so to say. I'll pop you out of here and give you the tour. So when you look at the roof, I tried to show this before, but it's just not working out. So you got the 3 and 1 on the side and 1 on the side. They're all marked out, and it kind of works as a template that you could go by to put your lights on. So I've been feeling it, and that's about where they're going to be, and that looks good. I was debating on centering these ones. You know, I never did understand why they grouped them together. It's just kind of the way to do it, the way it looks, but I thought it might even be better to do it this way. I don't know, I'll probably just do it like this. So as far as layout on these things, I haven't seen any other trucks that have this kind of a setup in the ceiling. Everybody uses a stick across the roof. You know, like they'll take a stick and they'll lay it here and line up the lights. So I gotta do that on a Chevy. So another guy get the template, paper template from Dodge. I'm doing an 07. And I saw another guy who had a leak in the roof where somebody had lights and then they just mudded them over, basically put Bondo on it, it cracked and it leaked. And everybody's sealing it with silicone. But what I'm thinking is when you drill a hole, it kind of pushes down on that spot and creates kind of like a funnel. But if you drill a hole from this side and shoot them up through there, where I did my X's, I mean, those are centered. It's going to center the light. It's going to give me a template to go by. And it's also going to work to displace the water. It'll be like, you know, water won't roll uphill. You know, it'll roll down this way. But if I just leave a little lip and it's pushed up a little bit, there's a cavity in the bottom of these that will accept that. And basically it'll help to keep the water out, I think. So I'm going to drill them from the bottom side and go up. There's a reason why people don't drill, you know, you want the clean side to be where you poke in from, because the exit wound on a bullet hole is always bigger, it blows it out. Same thing with paint, it can chip it and blow it out. So I'm going to take some fat blue tape and tape on the roof where I'm going to be drilling up through, see if I can't preserve some of that paint. So this is what it looks like. I was tapping from underneath and pressing, and you can see it looks about right. So anyway, I'm going to start with this little drill bit, and I'm going to do the middle hole with it first. For this guy right here, I'm going to use this drill bit. It's about the same size. This isn't your brand spanking new truck, but I still like to do the best I can, so that's why I'm messing around with the tape and doing all this kind of stuff. So here we go. I should just take a punch it and do each one, but we're just going to go for it. It's taking forever. I got a leaky roof now. I have to vacuum this thing out when I'm done. Well, it doesn't look like I forgot anybody for Christmas. Let's take a look at the roof and see how my aim was with the tape. I'm excited. Whew, I just barely got that one. I'm not a very good shot with tape, but I was able to hit at least a little piece of each of them. Not that it really matters a lot, but I could sure move it and put it over for the big hole. Little hole I don't think even matters much at all. Put that right in the middle. This next one's going to be a big dang hole. Well, how'd I do? Let's take a look. Here's hole number one. It looks pretty good. I forgot to finish that one. It was getting hot and kind of got stuck. I think they look great. Really happy with the way those turned out so far. So, boy, getting that headliner all the way out of the way really helped. Kaboom! 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 There we go. How does it look? It looks kind of sticky up. Wow. We got some pretty symmetrical, well-placed holes going on up here. So I found the wires were getting a little bit chafed on the sides there, and so I decided to widen the hole a little bit. The hole fits perfect here, but what I did is I just took the file for sharpening a chainsaw and just did each side like that, and that really seemed to help. Not sure if this is going to work, but I got a pickup oh, it's working. Got a pickup magnet to clean up all this metal shard crap all over the seats. It's all ferrous. It's all going to work. Magnet, maybe dabbing would work better so I don't drag it off. There we go. Done. So I'm just lining up the screws and just getting everything set up so that I can see how far or how deep I need to drill. And I'm noticing that the screws don't go in real easy. That's going to help them seal better, but I don't know that they'll need it because they got all these little silicone O-rings to go on each of the screws. I really wish I could tell you what this was. When I worked at the dealership, we put on spoilers and all that kind of stuff, and we'd put this goop on there. And wherever we drilled, we'd do this before running screws or running wires or whatever. And I just saved a little bit over the years because usually a little bit goes a long way. So I paint this on all of the metal surfaces where I just drilled. So you see I've already got all these, and it goes on kind of a tan color, and then wherever it meets steel, the steel turns black. Just take a little bit and just run it all the way around the edge. And that way you don't get little rust and cancer stuff going on with it. I don't know what it does to the steel, but it sure works. As for these screws, you can just go around, just hit them just the same. A little bit goes a long way. Now, if anybody knows what this stuff is, would you please kindly tell us in the comment section? Show off your smarts and whatever, but you know, like I say, I wish I could tell you, so look for it in the comments. If you know what this is, please let us know. So I got a couple of conflicts here. We got holes front and back. I've got those all drilled and everything. These went through no problem. They went through both layers. This one went through 2 layers, and then the 3rd layer, you'll find on the inside that it's at an angle and it breaks your drill bit. It's into this right here. So you see, here's your center hole, here's your rear hole, and then the front one's into this. So I can either drill that out and make do with that, or use a shorter screw. So that's one issue. The other issue is that these are designed to be able to have a light socket kind of go up in there so that you can change the bulb from up here. These are LED, so we're not going to be changing any bulbs anytime soon, which is good, because all of the bulb sockets that I have, yeah, they can go in there and I can make that work and whatnot, but it's kind of a big fat plug, so I'm just kind of crossing my fingers hoping that that's going to fit between the headliner and the rest. Okay, so here's how these are supposed to work. You take out the bulb, use the existing one to gasket, kind of get it to stand up a little bit. Scout the hole, get it started. I can start to feel some resistance on that now. So while the front end's wanting to stick down a little bit, get that one started. Support it from the black gasket, get it started in the hole. They're real hard at first because I got this hole just a little bit undersized just to make sure it fits snug. Help keep water out and prevent stripping. So I get it down to about that point where it's just kind of snug, and then I go back. I took this off the ding keychain and just stab straight in. None of this going along the side and trying to pucker it like a mountain bike tire like that. Best just grab it, pull the whole thing back. Just kind of grab it by the base, not by the little lip of it. Just go all the way around, make sure that you're seated properly. There's my lights. Look pretty good, huh? A lot better than those holes that were there before. So I've got a big dent in the cab. You can't see it now because I've been doing PDR on it, but it's a little bit of a mess. You see the disco ball, there's a little distortion right there. So I'm going to finish working on that. And then apparently whenever that happened, if you look here, you can see that it smashed this down, and you can see the foam, how it's separated. That used to be making contact. So I need to jack this back up to support it so that it doesn't do the gas can thing, you know, the whoop kind of a thing. So we're looking good from above. Go inside, we're looking good from below. Got a whole bunch of twins. There, don't cry. Just kidding. No, I filled in all the inside of these with silicone from the bottom side. So the chances of this leaking are slim to none. I got it all in between the wires. Just sealed it up really good. Long story short, I got a wire harness to make, and I need to probe down and see if I can find a power supply for the lights. Otherwise, just go to this switch here. It's probably what I'm going to wind up doing. Alright, so it's wire harness time. So I got these off of 3 different Mazda 626 at the wrecking yard. They all match, they look beautiful. What I'm going to do is go through and make a shared ground for them. I'm I'm going to go through and hit all the black ones and then put a loop on the end, ground it locally, and then run the orange one to lights. It's going to be awesome. I'm leaving it a little bit long. Makes it harder to pull, but it gives you more to work with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some black wire that I have here and just do a length of it that's the width of the cab, and then mark it with a pin wherever it is that, so I'll run it basically from a spot where I'll have a little loop on the end of it. I'll crush this on there. So we've got our loop, so I'll pull the length, and then after I've gone from the point where I'm going to ground it, probably on the A-pillar or so, I'll run this out to the end so that it's able to reach all of these, and then I'll use either some tape or a marker or something. I'll mark each of these, and I'll go back through with this guy, and I'll show you how to rabbit ear splice into that. It's going to be fun. Alright, as I was saying, to the rabbit ear splice. So it comes up, the first one's going to be right here. So this is 14 gauge wire. So we'll go strip it here and out here. We'll go to the next one, strip it here, strip it here. Next thing you do is take your razor blade and gently unzip it. Just open the jacket. If you got it good, it's going to work out great, even if you have gloves on. I got tape around my thumb, I got a band-aid on my other finger. So I hooked up my wire harness and did a little testing. I hooked up the ground to send ground. I hooked up power to this to send power. You know, you just hold down the button and it shoots power out the end of it. Good old 12.5 volts. So I did that, and to my dismay, this one came on and that one did, and the rest of them are all dead. I'm like, it's polarity, you know, can't win for losing. Just go through and just switch them. So I switched this one around, just flipped it, and then I flipped this one and that one. I started worrying about that break in the wire that was on the middle one. And I thought maybe it's not going out there. Long story short, on these little guys, it's got this dorky little wire sticking out one side and one sticking out that side, and they were too far to the middle, so they were missing contact. So I took my thumbnail, I drug them back out to the outside, plugged them back in, and then they're good. So what I did is I colored everything, you know, black on that side, left it white on this side, and I colored this one black here so that I'd be able to quickly tell and just line it up and put them together. So I did that on all of them. You want everything to be right. I don't want to pull my headliner back down. So next thing I'm going to do, I go through and put a bunch of male spade connectors in on these ones. So I've got all of these all clamped and torched and ready to rock. They're looking good. So I basically just got a whole bunch of stuff hanging down from the ceiling ready to hook up. So the light part of the installation's done. I just got to do the wiring. I've got my factory harness, so I'm about even with those guys that already had holes and already had a factory harness. I just need to tap into power, and then I got to run my other wires. Of course you want to see it light up, so let's do it. So I take my tester, stick power to it, stick it in there, there we go. So they all light up. Nope, because I didn't plug this one back in, did I? You gotta make sure everything's good before you put that headliner in. You gotta have all your wiring done, you gotta do all your testing. Isn't that pretty? Just downright flashy. So then I'll go ahead and highlight one of these to show you what it looks like with the bright on. So that's when it's bright. That's when it's running light. So running light, super bright. See if I can do them both at the same time. There's no way. Here they are, both at the same time. Right? So the plugs that I lovingly stole off of a Mazda 626, they unplug. So this can be redone, moved around, changed. This can be strung through for some other application. That being the case, I don't mind just chewing these up, making them more indiscreet and low profile so that they don't interfere with the headliner. So that's what I'm doing, is I'm just going around on a wire wheel. Wire wheel's like a slow grinding wheel for plastic. It's not quite as fast. This does a good clean job in my opinion. Well, I don't know how clean it is. So at least you don't go too far too fast. There's a nice low profile socket, and if that gets corroded or whatever, just push in the tab, pull it off. Don't want to use my thumb because it's cracked, but anyway, that should be pretty slick, pretty good. So as you can see, I've got the wire harness cleaned up and looking good. The things hanging down are factory, they have to hang down. See, that's for the mirror right there. This is for the computer, and you got stuff here for the visor lights, the vanity lights. But everything's as tucked up and good as the factory wiring was. Got it running down the A-pillar, just the same kind of fashion, and then down back behind here it'll be covered by weather stripping. It's the same routing I did for my, Edge Juice with Attitude CTS. I'm proud of that. I like that thing. Anyway, you've got the little control unit down here. This will be behind a body panel, and then the trigger one's that top left one to change the pattern. And so I've got it set up how I want it, but if I wanted to change it, I can. I cut out the sound dampening stuff here a little bit. You can see I did a ground wire just locally. So I've got those two that are inputs that are still open, and then the trigger. But everything else is run. It's run, and I'm actually really happy with it. I went back through here and I straightened out the little roof support, and then did a whole bunch of expanding hardening foam. It doesn't harden rock hard, but it's hard enough. So it used to have a really bad gas can effect to the roof up here. It used to just wobble, 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 wobble. See, this is still flexible because there's just nothing there. There's no support. So, and that's the way that's supposed to be. But the rest of the roof looks awesome. Like, seriously, you wouldn't believe how much better this is than it was before. You can see I've got all this cleaned up and looking good. Got the expanding foam in there. I had a real bad gas can thing here, so I just kind of took a panel knife and stuck it in there. When the panel knife was in there, the roof looked awesome. So I'm like, I'm just gonna, that's worth $2 or $7 or even $50. So no more gas can stuff on the top. When you get up on the top of the roof, you can kind of see where the crease was. I mean, it collapsed the main support down the middle, so it was a pretty bad crease. But you can push on it, get a little bit of gas can, but no more than what would be normal. And where that support is, oh, it's awesome. It used to go wobble, 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 really bad in the middle. And now it's awesome. I really like that. So it's a good thing to do while I had the headliner out. This poor little truck. That last owner, oh my gosh, they were brutal. You can see I've got seat covers because their little dog ate the seats. Took big chunks out of them. The seats were nice, but dog ate the seats. The truck wouldn't run. All kinds of dents, all kinds of water leaks from the back window. Where the back side got hit. It was all hit with a trailer. If you zoom in, you can see a little bit of the dent and deformity there. So that leaked and made my carpets wet. So I've got some clear strobes that are going to go in here. While I got the headliner out, you can see I've got the lights pulled. Never use a cargo light, for crying out loud. You have to switch it to the funkiest position to even get them. So I'm just going to put in some strobes. But anyway, I've got the rear amber lights on that one here. And so I'm going to piggyback that so that the top amber and the back amber come on at the same time. So I've got the ones in the back windows going. I've got them wired on the same switch as these. I've tested it on the parking lamps and the switching back and forth and everything. But it's getting there. It's been quite the project. It's taken a lot more time just because this didn't have any lights before. But boy, it has lights now. Can easily be seen. Ooh, I'm on fire!
ya, buddy. You know the video's over, right? Well, as long as you're here, why don't I introduce you to some of my poorly taxidermized friends?
Oh, hello there. I'm Thomas.
Yeah, I'm Daddy. Kinda lost my voice. Yeah, I'm Chinchu. I'm gonna fling this ball.
The name's Bill. I'm a fan of the Bulls and the Bears. Not like Ted the Bear. You know, the football team.
What's up? What's going on, man? Alex. My name is Angus. I've got a migraine. My name's Michael. Can't stay very long. My feet hurt. My feet are killing me. Hey! My name's Stable. I got eyes in the top of my head and in the back of my head. Don't pull anything. My name's Christian. Pleased to meet you.